All right.
Here
Looks
we go.
good.
Truncate it.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we go. No. Welcome to Thought Cops, coming to you live from the mean streets of Neo Chicago. I am Officer Kevin.
I'm Officer Grant. That was good. That was basically, I think, what I had in mind for the intro. Just get rid of the middle
really
part, because we're not really doing the "you're the judge, the jury." The audience was never the judge, the jury, and the executioner. We were, but it was just a cool thing. And then the whole thing of you can call and leave a voicemail and stuff like that. But only Leo the Incredible does that. So just season 2. It's season 2, Mushroom Kingdom. Here we come.
Season 2. We are back.
We have Harris, aka Beetle Moses, with us for a solo episode. Sans Zach. I'm doing really well. Thank you guys.
Do you feel scared without Zach?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm kind of like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? Thank you guys for inviting me.
Absolutely.
Very happy to be back here. It's always fun talking to you guys. So.
Yeah, because last time we had you on, it actually wasn't that long ago. Because we had Zach, YOLO Swag Studios, on the show, and he's like, hey, like the absolute last minute, he messages me and says, hey, can my friend Harris come on the show? This is who he is, and like I think that you and I had actually added each other on Twitter maybe earlier that week by coincidence.
Very recently,
yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, sure, the more the merrier. And then I told Grant, and he was like, who is Beetle Moses?
I was like, Kevin, you're not just inviting people over to my apartment, are you? Without me asking him. He's like, no, it's Beetle Moses. And I was like, who's Beetle Moses? And he wouldn't tell me.
I'm like, you will find out.
I was very much like, I mean, that was also really early on in like my Twitter time too. So when Zach invited me on, I was like, dude, are you sure? Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Like, they're not going to know who I am. Like, and he was like, no, I think they said it's cool. I was like, all right. And then I know we kind of mentioned this on our podcast, but you guys totally gave us the podcast bug. Like that was the first time that we had recorded together on a stream, and we were like, that was kind of fun. We can keep that going. And
yeah, I guess you could say you're kind of like the original bug chaser.
Yeah, exactly. Bug chaser?
Yeah, isn't that what people like? I'm gonna look it up. You guys banter for a second.
I'm pretty sure that's when it's like this weird fetish thing where people try to catch STDs.
Yeah,
man.
Bug chasing. Thought Cops word of the week, coming in hot, coming in early. Bug chasing is the rare practice of intentionally seeking human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, infections through sexual activity.
That is messed up. Can you imagine a Discovery Channel show like River Monsters, but it's a guy like, he's actually looking for insects and spiders and stuff, and he calls it Bug Chaser, having no knowledge of what it means. Like
nobody corrects him because it's hilarious.
My dumbass thought that you were talking about Pokemon.
That'd be cool too. That sounds way better.
Not that kind of bug chaser, but they do both like wearing shorts.
Yes, that's right.
They are comfy. No, those are youngsters. Dude, you got it all backwards, man.
Youngsters. Yeah, there you go.
I'm always mixing up my youngsters and my bug catchers. God damn it.
There's a lot of shit talk about this new Pokemon game.
I know.
You've been seeing that on the Twitter app.
It doesn't look so great. I gotta say, I want to like it, but it doesn't look very good. At least for now, it's like super choppy. Like it's one thing. There's a lot of people out there who like to nitpick graphics and stuff, but like it just doesn't like work.
No, it doesn't look very good, which is surprising to me because, like, Nintendo they're not known for that, really. Like, I mean, there are other game companies like EA and all these other fucking, that they release games all the time that are just, like, shitty and choppy and buggy and don't work, and then they patch it up. And they're like, oh, just release it, and we'll patch it a month later, and it'll be fine. But it's like, Nintendo, it seems a little out of character for Nintendo, but...
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what it is. Yeah, because if this shit would never fly with Mario and his friends.
No, it wouldn't.
It would never happen.
True.
It would not happen.
I feel like Pokemon's they just put it on like the back burner, and it's so weird because it's like one of the largest like
it is the largest IP in the world.
in the world,
Yeah,
and
by
they
a pretty
can't
big
make
margin.
a game that doesn't load. Like, I don't get it. And I haven't like been into these games for so fucking long. The closest I've gotten is when that Arceus game came out, and I was
Which
like,
was
this is
fun.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fine, but it's just like I just feel like the game that I grew up with is just no longer. They just are not to the same level of quality.
Well, I
Not
think
at
part of
all,
the problem
yeah.
is like and I'll keep it short, but like I feel like they're pushing them out every year. You know, and now it's like multiple times a year because that Arceus game came out like this year. They already have one coming out next week, and
once a month, you might say. Someone might say once a month.
Yeah, I think
they're coming out with a new.
Yeah,
It is crazy. It is, and I haven't played a new Pokemon game in a really long time. So now I'm at a point where
that's weird. I thought you were.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
I used to play a ton of Pokemon, and I still actually replay. Like, I'm liable to pick up like an emulator for Pokemon Emerald or something and just go back through it again. But I'm at a point now, it's almost become like a gauge for how old I'm getting that I think I'm aware of less than half of the Pokemon that are released at this point. Like, most of them, you could flash them in front of me and be like, is this a real Pokemon or is it just fan art? And I would be like, I have no fucking clue anymore.
Yeah, like I think I missed one gen ever, and I think it was the Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got back in Gen 4, and I'm like, I am so fucking lost. And there was like half the Pokemon back then.
Yeah.
Like I still do. I want to play them. I want them to be good. And then people are like, oh, who cares? They're games for kids. And it's like, well, then kids deserve better, you know? Like, these games shouldn't run like crap. And then it's
I
like,
was
oh,
a kid
kids
when
don't
I
care.
played them, and they were great.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
It's true. And I really would, like, I wouldn't mind if one of these big game studios released a Sprite game again. You know what I mean?
I think that they need the Sonic Mania treatment, TBH. They need someone to come in fresh and new and just be like, hey, these were better in 2D. You know, let's bring it back.
It's true.
Do that again.
One of my favorite recent gaming experience, because I'm a little bit of a poser. I don't really play video games that much.
Yeah, I remember that kind of came out on the last episode.
Yeah, I played more as a kid, but I find I'm just too busy and tired at the end of the day. And honestly, social media has just been a complete cancer. So I mostly will be sitting scrolling on my phone instead of playing a game these days. But
eat the cancer,
yeah, but it's I think one of my favorite gaming experiences that I had in the last few years was actually playing Undertale at the recommendation of a friend, which is a pixel game, but was extremely clever, and I loved the art, and that was great. Yeah, I love games like that. I love those top down.
Undertale's great. Yeah. The one thing I will say is Undertale is one of many Earthbound indie RPGs,
which I just started replaying. I didn't beat it the first time that I played it.
How are you liking it?
It's good. It's great.
A pretty nutty game. Yeah,
I picked it up around the same time last year, and I never beat it. And
Earthbound, right? Not Undertale, right?
Yeah. But I would like to eventually get into Undertale.
Undertale is good, and don't get me wrong. It just I think that it really tries, I think, in my opinion, a little hard to fully kind of take that sense of humor from Earthbound, where Earthbound, I feel like it comes across a little more naturally.
For sure.
It's a nitpick. It's a nitpick. It's still a fun game.
I think I just thought Undertale in general was I liked the humor, and I had been the game that I had been playing the most prior to that was Breath of the Wild, which is so expansive and so much fun. That was also one of those 50 plus hour gaming experiences, to get through the whole thing, which it had been a while since I had done one of those before, and playing that was so great. And my friend was like, dude, play Undertale, it's so much fun. I'm like, it just feels so small compared, with playing a little pixel game that's not open world. And and I caved because it was it's $15 to get on, on the Switch store. And so I was playing it on there. And I think my expectations were kind of low for it, and it was so much fun, so engaging.
I didn't know it was on the Switch store. Maybe I should pick it up.
Yes,
it is. Yeah, it was great. And it's great for handheld, honestly. It really lends itself to just sitting and playing.
That's how I feel about Earthbound, too.
Yeah, because you said you played it, you started playing it you have that SNES Mini.
Yeah, and so I was monopolizing the TV with it, and it was just like, I just wish I could have this in my lap. And then towards the end of me playing it, they were like, hey, it's on the Switch now. And I was like, well, I've almost beaten it. And then I stopped playing it. Thanks, Nintendo. Fucking piece of shit, asshole. Make a better Pokemon game. What the fuck?
Seriously, man. Seriously. And I hate that you have the only way to get your hands. I know this is like old news at this point. People have been griping about this for years, but the only way to get your hands on an old game that you want to play from Nintendo is to pirate it or download a ROM. Like, there's no way to just download.
It depends on what.
Shit.
I mean, they're thankfully adding more to the service, but it's a drip feed.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I did play. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, whatever. Go ahead. Doesn't matter.
I was gonna say, actually, the other game that I did play through all the way that is emulated on the Switch, that's a classic, is Super Mario World. I beat that one. Yeah, that's just such a good fucking game, and it is available on the Switch store. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
I was gonna say, speaking of a slow drip. Cold cuts. So y'all started Cold Cuts. You started it after your very first appearance on this. We were highly influential, as we can be sometimes. So many people come on this show and they look at our Google Doc and they're like, "It's a good Google Doc. You guys have a good format." And then we threw it away despite all the haters. But tell us about Cold Cuts and your idea going into that. You're doing it with Zach YOLO Swag.
That's right.
Who's a very charismatic, crazy fella.
Crazy dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
We so Zach and I we go back. We went to college together.
What was he like back then?
The same. I swear to God, the dude he hasn't changed even a little bit. Like when we went to this particular school together, we were both, I don't want to say outcasts because that sounds almost like Reddit, but it's like, we were like, we definitely
sounds like he's rubbing off on you.
We were definitely a little bit like, we didn't fit, I think, the mold of this. We went to this kind of small school that was really waspy and like fraternity based, and
was it like an art school? Did you go to art school? Did you major in art?
No, it was like the opposite of an art school. It was like it was just like a liberal art school, I guess. But it was just very. And most of the people there were like business and finance bros and shit like that. And I think like he and I just had, I don't know, we linked. I forget honestly how we met. I'm sure we met at a party at one point and just had similar interests, and we just started hanging out like constantly. And I'm getting a notification that my computer's running low, but it's plugged in, which is not ideal.
We can just talk about. So, Kevin, what do you? What's going on with you? Any other strangers yell at you lately? Okay,
no, not today. Not today.
Okay.
Wait, did the stranger yell at you? When did that happen?
Yeah, there was a whole thing. A guy called him neurotic.
Well, technically, he wasn't yelling at me. Him and his dog just bullied me.
Oh, that's and the dog too.
And the dog.
He made a point to say, "I'm talking to my dog." So, you know how it is.
Yeah, dude, that sucks when a dog is mean to you, because it's almost like the same feeling when a little kid is being mean to you, where you're just like, I can't do anything because I will be the asshole in this situation. You have to kind of take it or walk away.
You can't throw one across the room.
It sucks. Yeah, and honestly, I love dogs and I like kids too, but it is one of those things that like sometimes I hate other people's dogs and I hate other people's kids. Not hate, it's a strong word, but if they have
you're
a bad
allowed
dog,
you're allowed to wish them death, Harris. It's fine.
Like, dude, fuck this. Anyway, so Zach and I got we linked back up probably a couple of years, like 2 years ago, something like that, maybe a little over that, and had been messaging, and I had seen that he had kind of made a name for himself at that point as YOLO Swag Studios.
We had him on Thought Cops, and he just blew up after that. It's just the effect we
totally
have on,
just put him on there. He's got a huge following, which is awesome. He's got a very like loyal and rabid fan base, and which is great. And so he was actually kind of the one that was twisting my arm to post to Twitter and also lean a little bit more into the comics, because I was drawing cartoons, but more just like little characters and doodles and stuff like that. And I was
what kind of characters were you drawing?
Like I had this series of like just these. I really can't describe it as anything other than like doodles. Like they kind of looked like these squiggly arm characters, like playing
just
basketball.
A family of 5 with yellow skin.
yeah, just like that. And I was also painting, which I haven't done in a while actually. But I was doing a lot of like painted portraits and never found any success. Didn't ever really find any type of audience with that. And then I posted actually. On a whim, I posted this comic, which was the first one that I had done. I was too self-conscious. I didn't even hard post it on my Instagram. I posted it just to my story that it was this. It's still the first comic if you scroll, I guess, all the way to the bottom of my Twitter. But it was this like pirate ship, and one of the guys like has his telescope out, and he's like, holy crap, like, Captain, you're not going to believe this. And in the distance, they see, it's like a giant squid you can see underwater, but they can only see the top of its head peeking out, which looks like a Pizza Hut. It was really dumb, and it was super dumb. And I posted it to my story because I was just like, I'm not going to actually post this. This is not going to fit in. Up until then, I had mostly been painting portraits of, like, people. So I was like, this is not what people want to see. And then Zach basically was like, dude, you need to post this on Twitter expeditiously. And I was like, okay. So I had made a Twitter, and then I went on Twitter, and I posted it there. And Zach retweeted that first comic that I put on there, and it got 1,000 likes. And that was the most.
It was so fresh.
It was, yeah, exactly. And I had only ever gotten like 80 likes on anything that I'd ever posted. So I was just like, yo, what the fuck is this? And the rest is history. Then I was just like, oh my God, Twitter is, through all of its bullshit, it is my favorite social media because, and I didn't realize this until I was on it, you have the most amount of freedom in the replies than any other platform. Like, when somebody is commenting on a tweet below it, it's an entirely new tweet. And they can post media, they can make their own drawing, they can tweet something even funnier than what you did. And
I fucking hate when that happens.
And dude, it's like, oh, Kevin, dude. I did
Actually,
not.
I think it happened today.
I did not mean to ratio you on your post today.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah, no. It was Harris. If you didn't do that, nobody else would have seen it.
That was so funny.
Was
though.
that on the burger
I'm gonna get into it. Yeah, let me talk about this really quick.
Get into it. We'll bounce back to cold cuts. But
so yeah, my 2 minutes of hate this week, because I'm just going to get right to it, is just fucking like low effort call and response posts. So Grant found this fucking tweet that went viral, and it was a picture.
This is like the pettiness of the behind the scenes like Thought Cops lore that we don't let out into the public, but we'll just like send each other shit. Just like, dude, look at this fucking asshole. Like,
that's the behind the scenes of Cold Cuts too. It's just me and Zach shit talking everything, like everything. Anyway.
So he shared this tweet in the our Thought Cops Discord server, which if you haven't joined, there's a link to our server in the episode description. So head on down there and you can talk shit with us. But he shared this tweet. It says, it's a picture of a hamburger on a plate with an image on it that says this burger gets 4 toppings only. And then the caption of the tweet says, "Choose your toppings." All lowercase, no punctuation. About like 300,000 likes.
Jesus Christ!
And you know what?
How?
I haven't really been enjoying Twitter as much as I had before. And I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I'm not above stealing. I'm not above stealing low effort content. I've had so much stolen from me.
Yours, yeah.
I've had so much stolen from me, so that makes this okay. That's what makes this right.
Yeah.
I stole this tweet, and I put the same thing. Just choose your toppings. I did the exact, basically the exact same post. And it's been doing better than almost anything I've posted in months, which I don't know how to feel about that. Don't get me wrong, I like the dopamine. That felt pretty good.
Oh, of course.
And then Harris respond. Okay, so let me just break the numbers down for you guys listening.
God.
My tweet has 48 likes on it, and Grant had a funny one here. He quoted Jimmy Buffett, and then I got 4 likes on it.
That's classic.
Yeah,
and we got a response from Beetle Moses. It says for what he would put on his hamburgers: 2 briefcases of money and 2 lines of ketamine. That has 13 retweets and 404 likes.
That was completely accidental. I really only meant for you to see it, Kevin. Like, I just figured, like,
that ain't how it works.
I don't even know where the fuck everybody came from.
It's funny too that like not enough people like saw that and then went back to the original one to even like interact with it. They're just like, yeah, that's a good response.
Well, no, like, because you did that, I did get a lot of responses. We have one here from Zwick that says bacon, lettuce, blue cheese, and tomatoes.
Loser.
Yeah, what?
We got someone says ketchup. Someone says see, some of these are joke responses, but I just got some random people out of the woodwork, and that's what I love about this kind of social experiment. It's just to see how like brain dead some people are. Just people like see something like this, somebody just said ketchup, mustard, pickles, and pickles. Guess
2 extra pickles. That's a good one.
You
actually did get a lot of responses on this.
Yeah, I'm scrolling like through a bunch of them right now.
That's crazy.
Any new followers because of it?
I got like 1.
Hell yeah.
Nice. That's more than I've gotten in years.
Yeah.
There is part of me that, like, I see how well some of that content does, and there's part of me that always wants to sell out and just be like, hey, TikTok, what are your 5 favorite movies? I'll go first, so that people can like stitch your thing and then make their own video talking about themselves, but you still get the hits back, and then people see your video and you're the face that everyone sees when you open up the app, sort of thing. And it's like, I just don't know if I want to be the, hey, let's all do an icebreaker prompt sort of thing.
Like, how could you sleep
it feels
at night?
bad. I couldn't. I already don't.
Well, you know what the sad reality is that, well, this is going to be an embarrassing...
People love that shit.
Yeah, I know, they do. And you know what, like, this is an embarrassing thing, but I was curious because when Zach and I started with the cold cuts thing, and I was kind of looking at YouTube, and I was like, how can we pump the numbers a little bit? And who do you look towards if you want to be fucking... Who's got the numbers pumped on YouTube?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's fucking Mr. Beast, dude. That guy he's like goblin mode. Like, the dude is ridiculous. I've never seen a single Mr. Beast video. How does he have...
I have not either.
How does he have, like... He has, like, 200 million subscribers on YouTube.
I've watched one, and it's, like, it's bad. I don't know how he's that popular.
I don't get it. Well, that's the thing, is that I looked him up, and actually his Wikipedia page, if you haven't read it, it's quite interesting.
I have not.
I would recommend it because the part of it is that he is apparently, according to several people who have worked with him off camera, extremely critical and harsh and like a borderline bully because he's like a perfectionist. Like, he wants things to get like crazy accurate when he's filming things, which is crazy. But
this guy thinks he's like fucking Stanley Kubrick, and he's making like videos about jelly beans and stuff.
I think he has more money than Kubrick ever had in his life, honestly.
Well, I think he has more money than like everybody. I think that he's on track to be like the first YouTube billionaire.
I think it's possible, but what it says on his page is that part of the reason that his business model is so successful is that he uses the 3 most popular things on YouTube, which are internet challenges, which is what you made mention of, guest appearances, which is what we're doing right now, and reaction videos. So those are like the 3 things that he does, and all of those things just are huge hits on YouTube, I guess. But you're right, it's
unreal.
Fucking
and
cringe.
He does
like I don't want to do that shit.
He does like a game show that's like Gen Z, The Price is Right where he just goes, I'll give you $6,000 if you just fall to the floor and lick the floor. And someone goes, yeah, I want $6,000. Hey, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Would you kill a man? And he goes, yeah, I would kill a man. And you get $6,000.
It's like fucking crazy.
Come on down!
Seriously. And dude, the other thing about that guy, I have never seen, you know how people smile with their eyes? Like when somebody's smiling for real, you can tell that they're smiling because even if you cover their mouth, like in a photo, you can still see their eyes are doing like the whatever. Just go look at a photo of Mr. Beast. Go look at a photo of him where he's smiling and just cover his mouth.
Yeah.
And just it gives you a glimpse into the madness. Like he is just, I don't even think he's ever smiled, honestly. He's got this like very scary dead eye about him.
I'm doing it here. I'm doing it now.
It's seriously
every photo
bad.
of Mr. Beast.
It's seriously
Jesus Christ.
It's fucking horrifying.
Just looks dead on the inside.
It's very scary to me.
I can't imagine why.
I can't imagine why. But
I didn't even know who he was, and I would make a couple like TikTok videos, and people would like, especially when I had more facial hair, people would be like, "You kind of look like Mr. Beast, bro," and I would be like, "I have no idea who that is."
Time to shave.
Yeah.
What's weird about him also is that like some of these other really big YouTubers, who I think I'm a little too old to be watching anyway. I don't see him referenced the same way I see people like reference Jerma all the time. And I've never watched a Jerma video, but I know who he is. I know what he looks like. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
I think he's what is his name?
He's a streamer, I think.
He's a streamer, right? Yeah. I think he's a YouTuber.
Man, what are we doing hosting a podcast about like internet culture? We don't know who fucking anybody is anymore.
What does it matter? Because we're normal people that are like looking in the inside from the outside. You don't want these people that are looking at the inside from the inside. They're insane. They're psychopaths.
That's true. And I didn't know who any of these people were up until like 6 months ago when I like got on Twitter. It's just like all of a sudden it's like a constant barrage of people I've never heard of and will never care about, but they're like at the forefront of
it's like I still don't understand how PewDiePie got such a big following, because when I heard the name PewDiePie, I just imagined like a guy in his 30s making weird noises while he played I Want to Be the Guy or some shit like that.
It is. I think that's
it's like you just make your content for children. You're just like the most insufferable person, and then maybe one day you go, oh, I can just talk in a normal voice now. I'm just gonna do just a podcast. I guess.
Like,
and you're just
it's true.
I always just assumed like PewDiePie was just like Barney for like kids, and then all of a sudden he goes from, like,
you're right.
He goes from being like Barney to like people are like, oh, he's the savior of the white race. Like, what the fuck is going on?
What is happening, man? What is happening? Yeah. Some of these YouTubers are crazy, man. Like, I've been lucky enough to like bump some shoulders with like some of these guys. Not PewDiePie or anybody that we just listed, but like.
Did you know who Vaush was before you had him on your show?
No, I didn't. And I did not know who he was. Most of the people that we've had on our show, and I'm usually pretty straight up with them. I've never heard of them before we had them on. Yeah. But some of them, most of them have been really cool. We've had a couple doozies, but we've had most
they were both on one episode, I think.
Interacted with them. Wait, who were they? Oh, these YouTube guys, yeah. I was like, who are you referring to? But I mean, obviously, you guys have been great. Honestly, Vaush, like, despite all of the, I know he gets a lot of shit online because I think he's had some goofy boy takes online, which is to be expected from a political streamer. And then, but he's super friendly. And then Frank Japsy, nicest guy, dude. We just had Trey the Explainer on, like, coolest fucking dude, like. All these guys have been really, really cool. So that's been nice.
I don't know who Trey the Explainer is, but I think we've been like talking for the past 3 or 4 years of the possibility of getting Frank Japsey on. I still don't really. I think I listened to like one of his songs once, and I was like, "Yeah, this is cool." Whatever. I think he also does YouTube shit, right?
Yeah, Frank is funny because he's kind of a jack of all trades. He does a ton of stuff with a focus in music. He's a really talented beat maker and musician, and I didn't realize this until I was talking to him. Actually, I was talking to him last night, and I didn't even know this, but do you guys know what Simpson Wave is?
Yes.
He was like one of the forerunners of Simpson Wave. Like I think he made the first viral video, like with like a Simpson Wave flavor. And I know
we've talked about that on the show at some point before, like about the appeal of Simpsons Wave.
It's really fascinating. Yeah. But Frank's a really cool guy. Trey the Explainer is super cool too. Totally got to plug his YouTube channel. He does like he has like video essays all about dinosaurs and cryptids and unsolved ancient mysteries and like crazy stuff like that, which is like Zach and I, all of our episodes just devolve into us talking about dinosaurs and fossils and animals. So having him on it,
bro, what if there was a cryptid with 3 titties?
That's pretty much it. But you got to do this too. He's like, he does. Yeah, but all those guys are really cool. That Trey episode that was a fun one because we did just talk about, because he's actually, I think he studies the shit. So it was pretty much us just being like, so
is he a cryptozoologist?
Kind of. He has some videos where he mostly debunks the shit, but he has videos on like Mothman and the Flatwoods Monster and like the New Jersey Devil and all shit like that.
He would be a good guest for Mega Strange, I feel.
For a second I thought you meant Thought Cops?
Oh yeah,
maybe.
Definitely for Thought Cops. Yeah, you should link up with that guy. He was really cool and put up with like the cold cuts bullshit. You know, like I think we were. He was a good sport. He was really cool. But
speaking of cold cuts, Harris, I do want to ask you. You guys just launched a Patreon recently. Is that right?
We did. Yes. We launched a Patreon where you can get early access to comics, access to bonus comics, bonus episodes of Cold Cuts podcast. We switched from uploading 2 a week to YouTube to now we do 1 episode on YouTube and 1 episode that's a Patreon exclusive. And we also are working on some other projects like animations and stuff that will be available to Patreon subscribers as well. So that was super fun. I was actually a little bit against Patreon, to be honest, before we started. Like, Zach and I had been toying with the idea, and I was kind of like, I don't know, because I just had never used it. I wasn't really familiar with the platform, but it is really cool. Oh, and the other really cool part is that if you're a member of the Patreon, you get invited to the Cold Cuts Discord, which has been super fun. Like that's probably been my favorite feature.
I want to donate to you guys and jump into your Discord.
It's great. I know you resident wanted fugitive Zwick, the editor, is in that Discord as well.
He's in every Discord. One time he made fun of I'm in the Majority Report Discord, which I like never even use or look at or anything like that. And he was laughing at me. And then I was like, I just like, I join them and then I don't really, do whatever. And he's like, well, actually, I'm like a member of like 1 to 200 Discords.
Oh,
and I'm just like, and he just goes through and he just like posts links to Thought Cops videos. And I'm like, I thank you.
I don't know if that works, man.
I don't know if it works either.
Zwick can probably vouch for the fact that pretty much most of my interactions in the Discord, well, it's not true, but almost every day when I'm posting in the Discord is like, somebody will be like, oh, can you add this channel or make this edit or something like tech related? And I'm like, can you guys show me how to do that? Like, I do not know how. I'm like terrible with Discord. I'm basically a boomer. Like, I just don't know how to do it.
So were we until Zwick set up our Discord.
God bless him.
Dude's a lifesaver. But yeah,
fucking
the Patreon's been super cool. Oh, and then, just last thing about the Patreon. Also, part of the being a patron is you get physical content from Zach and I as well. YOLO Swag and Beetle Moses merchandise sent.
Are you still calling those physical NFTs?
Physical NFTs. Some of them are physical NFTs. You actually do get one of the tier rewards. You do get a card from the Cold Cuts Multiverse set. You do get, which is the card set that Zach and I just released. But also at certain levels, you get prints, custom doodles from both of us that are mailed right to your door. So yeah, that's been really fun, and also just I love the idea of having like a little community. You know what I mean? It's just fun to have
cool.
the same faces.
I mean, I think that's one of the best things that's come out of this show by far has been like the community that's built around it. And like I said, if you haven't joined the Discord server, I highly recommend it. It's pretty active. People are in there like every single day, all hours of the day, talking about God knows what.
I'm gonna join. That's awesome.
You should. We'll send you a link.
Send me an invite. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. Discord, I think like I was kind of like, isn't that what like neckbeards use? And
that's
Zach
what,
was
that's like what mass shooters
Yeah,
use to like plan attacks in Highland Park, Illinois. And every time I like open Discord on the train, I'm like, I hope nobody like sees that I'm on Discord.
Yeah.
You know?
And Zach was like, no, it's fresh, and I was like, okay, and then
if you say so, Zach.
And actually, I will say it is really cool. It's like a souped up group chat that you can do all kinds of. You can do so much wacky shit on there. Like you can add little bots that, like I was playing like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign before I was like really familiar with Discord that had like a bot that like rolled dice for you and came up with shit, and it's crazy how much freedom you have on there. It's very cool.
Right.
Yeah. One of our listeners, Serial Law Obeyer, set up a bot in our Discord. It does a number of things. If somebody says die or kill or anything like that, a little Minecraft icon appears below it. It's like, in Minecraft, you can say whatever you want.
I got surprised earlier today. I can't remember. We were in the politics channel, and someone said something, and let me just try and find it.
I saw
quick.
that you said like something about Led Zeppelin was the least racist among us.
I'm shocked that you guys even have a politics channel. That just seems like so dangerous.
It's pretty solid. It's pretty good. It's probably one of the few good, safe politics places on the internet.
Okay.
It's this retweet of, so basically someone posted this, IoNetRunner posted this to the politics channel. The original tweet says, I'm not racist. I have 2 mixed race grandchildren and a black dog and blah, 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 blah. And someone says, I'm not racist because I have a black dog is a new one, I have to say. And I said, Led Zeppelin is the least racist among us in that case. And the serial code obeyer bot said, did someone say among us?
Among us?
Just, and I was like sitting on the couch like after work, and I just like threw my phone in the air.
Oh my God.
I was like, holy shit, that popped up so fast. I didn't know someone could do that fast.
That is crazy.
It was a freaking robot.
A robot. It was an imposter. They fucking got your ass.
I think my favorite bot feature, though, is anytime... So, I know we've talked about this on the show before. Grant already knows what it is.
Well, I have a couple guesses, but...
We had... So, like, years ago, beginning of quarantine, Grant, myself, and our friend Nico streamed on Twitch for, like, 8 hours straight, and it evolved into watching, like, Family Guy funny moments on YouTube.
I love
and, like,
that.
commenting on them. And we got stuck on one in particular, and it was when Peter is it's a flashback, and he's like, oh, I haven't been this embarrassed since the time I went to that museum. And it cuts, and he's like a little kid, and he's at the museum. There's dinosaur skeletons and everything around. And then no, I don't know if this was the teacher or the museum curator. He asks this question to, and he goes, why did all the dinosaurs die out? And the guy he turns to Peter Griffin, and he goes, because you touch yourself at night. And then we sat there like losing our minds over this clip, debating on like who this guy was, what were his intentions.
We haven't talked to other people in weeks because we're in lockdown, and then we just watched Family Guy and our fucking brains melted, and we're just like, no. He says
good.
He doesn't say because you touch yourself at night. He says because you touch your, and it's like, no, the emphasis is not on you. The emphasis is on night. And Kevin's like, no. He says it straight. He says it flat. He says it panned, and it's just because you touch yourself at night.
It was like, we were bordering on like getting into an actual argument. I
like
felt
absolute hysteria.
Nico had to like step in and be like, okay, you guys are getting too mad about this. But then no, the bot in our server, anytime someone says why, and they ask a question why, the little react appears below it, and it's the guy's face from Family Guy. Where he says, because you touch yourself at night.
That's classic.
It's amazing. It's amazing what Discord can do, man.
It's truly incredible.
Computers are amazing.
They are amazing, and it's on your you just have it.
It's on these glass rectangles that we have in our pockets that sometimes explode.
Absolutely.
Harris, I'm listening to you talk about all this stuff, and I gotta say, I am amazed at how quick you've assimilated to all this, because every time you're like, I didn't know what any of this stuff was like 10 months ago. And like now you're like more in tune than like most people I know, and like all the ins and outs.
No, it feels terrible. I've like completely shaved 10 years off my life from all of the brain damage that I've taken. I believe it. Yeah, it's just like it's being online, like trying to establish a career online is just this. It's like all encompassing. Like it's just all of a sudden becomes. I'm thinking of like everything that I see when I'm walking around. It's like I'm thinking about some meme.
Yeah, how am I going to spin this in a content?
What's a good tweet for this?
Yeah, it's serious. Well, yeah, I think also my current like expectation of myself for output is probably a bit much. Like I'm posting a new comic every day, which is it's a lot. Like it's like
yeah, seriously,
it's been great. Like it's been really fun, and I'm still. This is what I would do if I had all the money in the world. I would be drawing. Right. It's just what I love to do. But
yeah,
but it's like I think sometimes I think what happens is like I'll sit down, especially or if I'm going on a walk. Like sometimes when I go on a walk outside, I'll have like 5 or 6 ideas like all at once, and I'm like, oh, these are so great. And I'll write them down in my notes app. But then I get to a point where I've drawn through everything, and I'm looking at my notes, and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't have
it's a bad
shit to draw. Yeah, I can't think of anything funny to draw right now. And sometimes I feel right now like that's where I'm at, like where I'm just like, I have been drawing so much. It's like just pouring my brain onto the paper that I'm starting to feel like I could probably slow it down a bit, like reel it in.
I was going to say, every day is like an insane output. That's a lot to put on yourself.
But it is fun. Like at the end of the day, I do have a really good time doing it, and like I think there's something about probably get like maturing and become like getting older and kind of establishing yourself as a business, like and being your own boss is probably having discipline and knowing when your level of production is actually like toxic for yourself.
Harris, do you have a day job? I don't want you to say what it is, but if you have one, I'm kind of curious.
No. Yeah, right now I'm doing this full time. So
that's awesome. Man.
That's crazy.
Which has been great. Like I never would have. I mean, I'm already extremely humbled and grateful about like how things have been going. Like it's been amazing.
Yeah. Did you have a day job before this? Then you like started to get success and you quit?
I did. Yeah, actually, I was. That's pretty much what happened. I actually had kind of a major like turning point, like a couple years back, that I kind of started to like look at my life a little bit differently. This isn't really like funny, but I could tell
it doesn't
you.
Have to. None of the
talk
episodes
show
are funny.
first. Yeah, none of the episodes are funny. I always say this is a talk show first, and then a comedy show.
All right, that's
peripherally.
Fair. I had a friend of mine pass away.
Sorry to hear.
Well, thank you. It hit me really hard when I found out, of course, and then I don't know. I think it kind of like triggered this weird like epiphany that my friend had passed away, and mostly when we were keeping in touch, like of course, like you always look back and you're like, I didn't keep in touch as much as I should have with this person, right? We didn't live in the same state, but when we were talking, we were mostly talking about basketball. Both of us watched basketball, and I would hit him up and be like, if my team was playing his team, we would be talking about that or sharing memes or shit like that. And he died, and it sounds like such a trivial, like, stupid thing, but I was like, dude, he's not going to watch basketball anymore. Like, he's not going to see anything that's happening anymore. And then it turned into this larger thing where I was kind of just like, damn, he's like, I mean, dying is crazy, man. Like, everything that he was ever going to make and see and do exists. That's it. It's done. You know what I mean? Which is like a really morbid and sad way of looking at it, but it also kind of just made me think, like, I was working this full-time job, I was working retail, and I was actually making decent money as like a retail manager, but I hated my life. Like I was driving like an hour to and from work.
Oh,
hated being there. My coworkers were chill, I guess, but it's just like, if you're a creative person and you're not working a creative job, you basically want to put a bullet in your head. Like it's just terrible.
If you don't have a kind of outlet, because like I've worked several different day jobs over the course of like this show, but like there's a lot of times where I'm like, at least I have this, I kind of have this thing, and I do other stuff too. And like I know a lot of comedians and stuff like who live here in Chicago who they have their day jobs or their temp jobs and stuff, but like everybody's like living for those moments of like when I can actually do the thing that makes me feel alive.
Yeah, and which is great. And I think what's great about what you guys have been doing is like the consistency, like the fact that you guys have committed to this and that you're still putting out great content is like that's what's important, right? Like that you're actually doing something that you like doing. Me, and this is a shortcoming of mine, is I think I have this is something that I'm like still grappling with, but I have a very all or nothing attitude about things where I'm like, I'm like, if I'm working this job full time, I get home and I'm like, I don't want to do anything anymore. Like that's it.
Right.
Like I'm exhausted. I don't want to do anything. And so I was going long periods of time without drawing, without painting, without doing anything creative. And then I think I just needed that little bit of reassurance when I hit the Twitter scene and things seemed to be like I got like a good reaction to those first few comics that I posted.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I got some money saved up. I'm doing this. Like, let me just fucking do it. And that's it. The rest is history. Yeah. And I mean, of course, I'm still not where I want to be, but I am. And things are stressful, right?
Where do you want to be?
I want to be. I would love. I think what Zach and I both see as like a short-term end goal is I know that both of us would like to be writing our own show, like creating our own animated series, which would be great. Yeah, I mean that would just be awesome. So hopefully Cold Cuts will serve as like a segue for us to both hone our skills in animation and writing and stuff and I think what's great about Zach and why I love working with him is that he cracks me up, and I hope that he thinks I'm funny too. I assume that he thinks that too.
Seems like it.
So we just like work really well together. So I think that would just be a dream. But in general, just like I don't have any official background or schooling in art or writing or anything like that. So I think maybe just to prove to myself to be able to pivot what I'm doing right now into like a sustainable career that's the goal. That's what I would like to do.
Yeah, like I had a brief period. It's like I mentioned on the show, I was unemployed for a while. I'm employed now. I'm thankful to have that job. But there was a time I got laid off from my last job back in June.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like completely unexpected. Like a bunch of the company got laid off. And I was like, at first I'm like, what am I going to do? But I also had a lot of money saved up. I got some severance pay for getting laid off.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I didn't look for a job for maybe like a month and a half. And like during that time, it was like, I kind of did what I wanted to do. I worked on shit for Thought Cops. I worked on shit for Hard Drive. I was just like working on other stuff, just like thinking of like just also relaxing in between everything. And like just
that's like so important. And I feel like that's so overlooked and just like everybody's, like, I mean, even one of those things too, where like even doing artistic endeavors sort of like you're talking about, Harris, like that can in and of itself be draining. And sometimes in order to like be able to do more, sometimes you almost have to take a step back and like allow for your brain to breathe so that you can then like come back to it like fresh again, sort of thing.
It's true. Sometimes it's funny because no one's going to remind you to like put your work down and actually live your life. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Sometimes and I think that's the hardest part for me is that sometimes I like, because it's also recent for me, I'm totally still figuring out how to be my own boss and not overwork myself, but also still put out an output that I'm proud of. But
yeah,
who knows if I'll ever figure it out? Like, I'm not sure, but
I got faith in you.
yeah, thank you.
Because like that brief like taste of having that life for a bit, it was just like, all right, yeah, I want to I got to get my life back on track, but this is what I want to eventually be doing,
Yeah.
you know, in some way, some form, somehow, because it feels good, you know. My output was like, it felt like once I got in that rhythm, my output was like nothing I'd had like been on before.
Dude, when you were writing, like your output when you were writing for, are you still writing for Hard Drive?
I do. Yeah, I think I have like one coming out like next week, but like, unfortunately, I kind of hit like a, and like it happens with a lot of stuff. But, you know, I think that once I kind of hit the rhythm and then I kind of like had to focus on some other stuff.
Yeah, I get
to kind
it.
of get my life in order. It wasn't as like
That's
instantaneous
life.
anymore.
Yeah.
And that's like a scary thing to happen. Like, no matter, even if it's like fucking as dumb as like a tweet or something or whatever, it's like when you kind of lose that momentum. And at first, like, because you kind of realize you're like, okay, I'm starting to become a little bit worn down. I'm maybe getting a little bit burnt out. I should probably stop. But if I do stop, it's going to be hard to pick back up to where I was.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, even I did take a week-long vacation. I went out of the country with my girlfriend for a week, which was very nice. Actually, like, I think leading up to it, like up until like a couple weeks before we were leaving town, I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to draw. I'm not going to be able to post. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Just like my eyes were twitching. I was just like, you know, and then I think like,
it's like withdrawal, man.
I felt really weird about it. And then I had a couple just like, well, this is the other side of it, is that then having like, you know, an audience on Twitter, it then also, it opens the doors for idiots, right? Like now you have like the crazy people in your mentions and saying things that are just like dumb and make you like, it's not hurtful, it's not the right word, but when you have people that are just like misinterpreting shit that you're posting or putting out, and it's bound to happen, it just becomes like exhausting. I had like 2 or 3 run-ins like that in like a week's time. And I think when that happened, I was just like, all right, I am so ready for a vacation right now. Like, I just do not want it, because I love drawing, but I fucking hate Twitter sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I think
that part
one thing
sucks.
that sort of helped me with that, because I do have that part of my brain that when I see someone being very proudly stupid, I have to come at them with a hammer, you know?
Yeah.
A Minecraft hammer, not in real life, but like a Minecraft hammer. I see it and I'm just like, you know how stupid you're being. Like, it's like shoving like a dog's face in like the shit that it made, to be like, look at it and see what you did, see the mess that you made, sort of thing. And I have like such a thing with that, like, but I also feel like that's like a toxic trait that has like really infiltrated too much of my psychic time that I should be spending on other things. And like one thing that I heard someone say, who I followed for a while, who's like pretty successful in his own right, was said something along the lines of like you don't have to read every comment and you don't have to respond to everything at all times, sort of thing. It gets hard when it's like people making like personal attacks and shit like that, you know, where you can't ignore some things. But like, I've definitely like trying to let go of things a little more has been something I've been trying to do, so that I'm like focusing on things that I need to focus on, because otherwise I'm just arguing on Twitter and it's just like, it's not worth it. I'm not going to change this person's mind. I might feel a little better for a little, but then I wasted an afternoon doing this shit.
Yeah, meanwhile, the dishes are piling up, the apartment's getting messy. It's like, God, what am I doing?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I catch myself spending too much on Twitter all the time, where like just scrolling through threads of just a ton of idiots, like 2 people fighting and they're both wrong. You ever witness that on Twitter?
Yeah.
You're just like, oh my God, I hate both of these people.
Yeah.
They're both so annoying. Like, it's that part's terrible about Twitter, and it really does reel you in. So it's
kind of like Jerry Springer, you know?
It absolutely
but it's
is
in your
like
little
that.
phone.
It is in your little phone. Yeah, it's just but I think what's depressing sometimes about it is, like, when I see somebody saying something dumb, I don't even get mad about it, or I'm just like, I cannot believe people like this exist. Like
Yeah.
they're out there, but that's what it's a reminder of constantly. But
they are out there. But speaking of Twitter, Grant, what is this about shower discourse you've been wanting to talk about?
oh yeah, what is that?
This took me by surprise. I got to look it up real quick. But basically, there was a tweet that set a lot of people off about showering.
Now, is this is worse than the boiling an egg discourse?
This is on the same level. I can't. So the person that tweeted it has taken it down, or not taken it down. Yeah, taken it down and locked their account.
Crap.
So I can't find it. Here it is.
Oh wait, I think I
found
might
it.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I got it pulled up here. I'll read it. It says, showering is the worst. You mean I've got to clean this body again? Has it been rolling in the mud? No, it's been checking emails and watching Netflix. It is now unpresentably filthy. Stand in this loud, wet box and confront your mortal vessel. You can't even play a phone game. If you don't, and then the second tweet is, if you don't feel this way, that's wonderful. Everyone deserves to enjoy the care tasks that keep them going. To my fellow ADHDers, disabled folks, and other who feel this is a little too hard, it's not just you. There's no shame in struggling with care tasks. And it's like, again, my thing is, I get it, and it's like the egg thing. Like we talked about the boiling an egg thing. We get that not everybody has the capability to do everything that everyone does. And at the same time, like, there's part of me that's like, yeah, this was like a Seinfeld bit too. Like, Seinfeld had the thing about, if your body was a car, you wouldn't buy that car because all the clipping and the cutting and the maintaining and the washing and the drying, like, you wouldn't want it, right? And so this is sort of like a little bit of that sort of thing, but it's also like another one of those, like, hey, adulting's hard, right? And so it's like Harris is talking about, it's just like from every angle, I'm angry at somebody for something. And the fact that this is now like a legitimate discourse that's been going on for days is just like, I need to not look at this anymore.
Yeah, no, that sounds, that's bad.
And then as usual, they turn it like, and again, not trying to be ableist here, don't know the full story, but it's always comes back to like, oh, I have a disability.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know, man. It just,
you're wading into some dangerous territory, but I feel you. I don't know what you're saying, man. Like, dude, I'm telling you, man, some of this Twitter discourse, I just got accused. I just got accused of being anti-Semitic. Me.
Whoa.
Me.
Beetle Moses?
Dude, I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. I'm well within my right to make a Jewish joke if I need to. And it was like light. It wasn't even a Jewish joke. It was like, I basically posted this, let's not even get into it. It's just going to serve to make me upset. But I was like,
yeah, that's fine.
I was like, why do people do that? Why do people just throw people just get like, they say whatever online, man. They don't even think twice
some of the
about it.
dumbest crap I have ever seen.
It's crazy too, because I always, in my head, I try and do this more and more, and I don't think that it's an effective technique, but it makes me feel better about the way that I engage with all this stuff, is if I was sitting face to face with a person that had said some of these things, like, how would I naturally react to them saying that?
Yeah.
You know, and so many people, it's like, I feel like so many people have felt slighted all their lives and have like bad issues with family and friends and, you know, authority figures where they've wanted to say this one thing their entire, and they hold on to it and they grip onto it. And it's like, listen, just because I said something about, hey, can you cook an egg, doesn't mean that the one person has to find the one excuse and the one fault and like, well, you know, one person can't cook. And it's just like, they've been holding on to it for so long. And my thought process is always like, I would never do that in a normal conversation. If someone was like, I would just maybe politely suggest something. Or if someone was being like a asshole, I would be like, I don't really want to talk to you. But it's this weird, like, combative nature that people just constantly have, where they just constantly have to pick apart everything and just be the world's biggest pedants at all points in time. And it's just like, if you were talking to someone like that in a group of people, everyone would be like, hey, shut up. Like, I get
true.
that sometimes that can serve as like cover to people who are being, genuinely pretty bad. But like, there's ways that you can and can't address it, and there's so many times where it's just like, this conversation would not happen in real life this way.
No.
If you want to bring up certain topics, you wouldn't do it in this way. To just
wouldn't happen at all.
That would not happen at all. Yeah, no. I mean, people get. I was just talking to Zach. About how I wish that everybody would go back to flip phones, because then you remember, like, if they wanted to type something, they would have to be like 44444333555566666. You know what I mean? Like, and it would just make everybody shut up. Then you couldn't like type all these like crazy.
We need to inconvenience a lot of dumb fucking people.
It's true. It needs to be harder to speak your mind online, because then only the people that really need to say something will try.
Right, they'll go through it. It's like, this means a lot to me. I have to say it. It's going to be super cumbersome and annoying to have to hit the buttons over and over to type 3 words. But you know what? The world must know. But with these fucking smartphones, it's just like, no, nobody has to know about how you stink. You smell like shit.
It's true. Do you guys see the?
You don't have to tell us. We know.
Why
any time around you?
Why do I feel like we talked about this on the podcast that we did on Cold Cuts? Maybe not, but have you guys ever seen that, like, this like iconic thread that I think it was on 4chan, and this guy posted, and he was like, getting ready for another great night, and he's holding up Mad Max Fury Road on Blu-ray. But that's like the most unremarkable part of it. Like, his thumb is like this massive like ogre thumb, and then you can just see behind the DVD or behind the Blu-ray disc his room, which looks like he's living in like a dungeon, and there's just this like this like flimsy mattress on the ground and just like debris and empty boxes all around, and like the thread is just like, dude, what? Wait, what? What is this? What is going on?
Bitch, you live like this?
Yeah, literally. And it's one of those, like, reverse Google image search, like, no results found, and you're like, no fucking way.
Dude, some of the funniest shit out of the internet comes from, like, people posting like a picture of something, and then the zoom in. What else is going on?
Wait, what is this? Yeah,
the unintentional. Like, I'm super conscious of that when I take any photo now, because I'm like, I can't risk something being like zoomed in on.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm always
I don't care. We got a fucking
that.
Like loose sock sitting out. Like, no.
Yeah, no.
Right.
People be like, oh, I bet you come in that sock. Like, nope.
No.
Or like, what my least favorite thing is when you take like a selfie in the mirror or something like that, or you just take a picture and there's like a mirror in the background and someone has to go, did you clean your mirror?
That's a classic.
Cleaned your mirror?
Damn it! I know. Today I was like, I separately I got Fruity Loops Studio working on my computer, which I was very proud of today. I had to pirate it, and then I was like figuring it out for like
who's
8
gonna
hours.
pay money for Fruity Loops Studio in the year of our Lord 2022?
But listen to this. I was talking to Frank JFC about it, and he said that he posted a video where he talked about how he pirated Fruity Loops, and he got a fucking cease and desist letter in the mail that told him he needed to like remove it, and basically I think they forced him to like pay for Fruity Loops or something like that.
Well, Zach, or Harris, I hope you got some money saved up.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh. But anyway, I got it working, and I made this little like beat on my computer. I was like, oh, this is cool. And I like took a video of it on my phone, just like looping on my computer to send. And as soon as I sent it, I actually sent it in the Discord, and I was immediately aware of like, holy shit, my computer looks like trash. Like, it's like I have like dust and hair and like cookie crumbs and like just like fucking smegma and all this crazy shit caked onto my computer. I was like,
you should probably clean that at least.
I was like, I probably should have just exported the song and then sent it that way instead of it. Anyway, Yeah, all that shit. I tried not to post anything about my life because I'm also, dude, you know who scares the shit out of me? I love this guy, but I'm also like, dude, this is
Jigsaw?
yes, that's that. But honestly, this dude scares me more than like the whole AI art thing. I know people are petrified about that. Dude, have you seen this guy who is like playing GeoGuessr and guessing what city I'm in, looking at 0.01 seconds of a blade of grass or something like that?
I have seen that.
Have you seen this dude?
Yeah.
He's playing this game called GeoGuessr where they drop you in Google Maps, like on Street View, somewhere random in the world, and you have to like look around and be like, what country am I in? Like, let me look for a license plate. Let me see how the people are dressed, like shit like that. It's actually kind of a cool game. This dude, he literally looks at the screen, and I'm telling you, he sees like a pile of dirt, and he's just like, "Oh, this is Sri Lanka," and he just fucking like clicks it, and and he's like insane, and I'm like, dude, if these type of dudes exist out there, what if I'm just like posting shit where I'm like, "Oh, going on a walk," and they're like, "Oh, that cumulus clouds. He must be in the southern hemisphere. Like he must be in the like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like fucking terrified of that now.
That was like, do y'all remember Shia LaBeouf's?
I was just thinking. Of that, yeah.
Harris, are you familiar with this?
No, what is that?
It's like back in 2016, right?
Back in 2016, you may have heard of this. We had this guy that was president. His name was Donald John Trump, and
yes, I think
a lot of people.
This story.
I don't know if you know about this guy or not, but a lot of people didn't like him.
Yes,
and
bit of a controversial figure. Yeah,
bit of a controversial guy, and Shia LaBeouf had made a flag that said. He will not divide us.
Yeah.
And he played a game of Capture the Flag, unwittingly played a game of Capture the Flag with the website 4chan.
Yes.
Who kept finding the flag and stealing it. And then he would put it in a bunker somewhere, like underground. He would be like, I'm burying the flag underground so no one can take it down again. And they would just find it. They would be like, the sediment in this is rust brown, and so this must mean that it's in Washington State. And like they would just find it.
It's insane. I do remember that unfolding. That shit is so fucking crazy. Did you guys watch that Netflix documentary, Don't Fuck with Cats? Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, I did.
Is that one?
I think I've seen it, yeah.
The people on that one are also trying to hunt down this, like, serial cat murderer, and they
should have used 4chan.
They should have, but they were literally doing that same shit where they're just like,
right.
Oh, he just posted this photo, and there's, like, a Citgo gas station, and there's only 68 Citgos in the northern hemisphere, so he must be in one of the... It's like, and they're, like, doing all this... They're, like, working faster than the cops to like find this dude. Like, people are fucking insane online, dude. It's really scary, honestly.
Well, speaking of people being insane online, I have another tweet that I want to get into because this is almost like the yin to the yang of the other tweet. This Twitter user at Chillazilla said, several guys moved in next door, students, I guess, and I've gotten 2 confused DoorDash drivers for them in the last week, and their trash can was completely overflowing with pizza boxes. I don't think they cook. I'm feeling such a strange motherly urge to feed these boys. Normal tweet, just like, whatever.
Normal thing to say, yeah.
Sure, whatever. Who cares? Twitter's just, you just vomit your thoughts out and just whatever.
Want to feed somebody, go ahead and say it. Yeah.
So the follow-up tweet was a picture of some fried vegetables and some
ground beef. Yeah.
And she said, I'm gonna do it, and got an insane amount of backlash for cooking for her neighbors, which is pretty weird. Among some of the responses were, why don't you take that food and give it to the homeless? And she said, well, I could do that, but I'm not doing that right now. It's just like, I I don't think that we're meant to. I think, I think human anthropologists say that we're only supposed to be in groups of 150 people. I think that you should only be able to interact with 150 people on Twitter. I think that that's true. I think that it's too much. And if any one of these people would have said anything to your tribe of 150 people, you would have just abandoned them somewhere in the desert, and they would just have to stone them to, yeah.
Yeah. That is insane. I saw that trending, and I saw a couple people being like, Twitter user discovers basic human decency. And it's like, dude, why are you being a dick? Like, what is the point of that? Like,
how do you know that they discovered that? Like, it's just like there's so many questions. It's like, how do you know that this person doesn't do this all the time? Nobody knows anything because we're all looking at 140 characters.
Right. And also it's like, you know what it reminds me of is like, it's almost that, it gives me that same vibe of like, you know, when you were like younger and people hated Justin Bieber and more so than they hated.
I still hate him.
Yeah, I do too.
More than they hated Justin Bieber, they hated like, what are they called? The Biebettes? What are the fucking?
I have no idea.
Justin Bieber.
The Beliebers.
Beliebers. Thank you. Yeah. I feel like there was like a fucking, like everybody fucking hated Beliebers, and it's like I look back on some shit like that, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, Beliebers. If I think of what was going on with people like kids, like little girls who loved Justin Bieber at the time. That is so much less annoying than like most of the shit that I see online today. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like a different era. Oh God,
yeah.
But it was cool to hate on them. It was cool to hate Beliebers, and that's how I feel seeing shit like this on Twitter, where it's like it's just cool to be a hater. Like it's just cool to fucking.
It's true. I mean, on the other hand, Justin Bieber visited the Anne Frank Museum in Amsterdam and said, "I bet that Anne Frank would want to be a Belieber."
Yeah, I remember
she was
that.
still alive, and
was he wrong?
That was pretty bad. I don't know.
Was he wrong though?
I don't know.
Wrong? He
said, "I wish that Anne Frank was a believer."
Was a believer?
It was something like that. So was he wrong?
No, I don't know. I think that's very wholesome. He wishes hilarious. That she was someone who enjoyed his wonderful music.
He brought it on himself. It's a
very fucking stupid thing to say. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the reaction to that, people are going to have the reaction and be like, how dare you say something like that? How out of touch are you? But really, the proper reaction is to look at that and just be like, holy shit, this guy is like so dumb. Like, how I cannot believe this kid is a millionaire. That's fucking crazy.
He's trying to relate to the world in the way that he can.
That's just hilarious. I mean,
that's like one of the smarter things somebody could say now, though, you know? Like,
that's true.
I mean, even like back in the Logan Paul suicide forest thing, like that was pretty bad too. Arguably much worse.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, shit crazy. Happens like that all the time now. And
it's every day, bro.
And you just go like, well, it is what it is. I guess I got to participate in this society somehow. I wonder how I'll do it.
It's funny. It almost feels like Logan Paul has had this weird, like, public redemption arc by when he started doing the fighting thing. Because now I don't see people hating on him anymore. I just see people like, oh yeah, he's gonna stomp Floyd Mayweather or some stupid shit. What is happening? What is this?
I mean,
that stuff leaves me speechless. Like, what's up with these like fucking like disgraced?
It's so annoying.
The disgraced YouTuber who moves to boxing, and it's like all of a sudden we like them now.
Like, do you think that these guys in a different era or like in a different timeline, they would have been like unbelievable like PR people and for like businesses where they're, you know what I mean? Like, so you know these like crazy people. You know the dude who wrote the book like or he invented public relations. You ever heard of that guy?
Isn't that a Nazi, or am I thinking of propaganda?
He did some insane shit. Wait, I don't know who invented this shit. I probably should have come correct. Edward Bernays. Okay.
Sounds familiar.
Edward Bernays. He was a theorist. Like I think his cousin was Freud. Yeah, relative Sigmund Freud.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is bringing back a lot of.
Talking about a crazy family Thanksgiving, huh?
Well, I know, but you know what? It's not that crazy because he studied psychology and crowd psychology in particular, and using that same like it's two sides of the same coin. Like studying
Right.
how people react in masses. He ended up writing the book on public relations, and basically he became the father of PR as we know it now. And so it's like you got to think about that. If you're able to like manipulate the masses and just realize how easily you can like just fall back into favor in the public eye, it's like,
man,
kind of
you know what, the one thing I can say in this guy's favor though is he had to write a book, and nowadays when people like get famous for shit, it's like you at least to write a book you have to sit and you have to work and you have to like use your brain a little bit. And Logan Paul gets punched in the head and he just says some stupid shit, and we're like, well, I guess he has no reason not to say stupid shit because he's getting punched in the head all the time.
It's a very good point. It's a good cop out. Yeah. Damn. Never thought
speaking
of it that way.
speaking of PR, I want to talk about one more thing here because there is one person who seems to bring a lot of bad PR on him, and then he always seems to bounce back somehow, or at least
Elon Musk,
or at least still keeps getting cast in movies. Chris Pratt.
Oh, yeah,
Jesus.
it's similar.
Now, as we all know, Chris Pratt's playing Mario in the upcoming Super Mario Brothers movie, but I think we got him dead to rights this time, boys. I think this might be the nail in the coffin.
We might never have to talk about this again.
I want to read the headline here. It says, former Luigi actor John Leguizamo says Chris Pratt's Super Mario movie has, quote, backwards casting. It kind of sucks.
Damn. The movie sucks or the casting sucks?
The casting
sucks.
Damn.
Because as we all know, John Leguizamo was Luigi in the 1992, was it? Or was it earlier?
It's an old movie.
It was somewhere around there. I think it might have even been 93, but he said, well, he calls it, so he's referring to the new Mario movie as a Mario movie reboot, which,
that's a little, I would say that's a little like generous to
a little presumptuous that anyone is thinking of that other movie.
Does he know about the games?
I don't think anyone who worked on that movie knew there was games.
I don't think so. That's crazy though. That sounds like he's talking shit just to.
Yeah. So he says here, too bad they went all white. No Latinx or Latinx. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Do you guys know?
I believe it's Latinx.
I think it's Latinx. Zach says Latinx, but I think he's being cheeky.
I also have heard that people that prefer to use that term, and that is a very that is a controversial term within the Latin community, because I know that it's something having to do with, like, obviously the gendering of languages and stuff like that. And there were just like small pockets of like LGBT groups that like tried to get it to catch on, and not everybody like goes along with it. But I think that people that don't like Latinx like will use like the term Latine, Latine. Latine, it's a sort of like degender Latin versus Latina versus Latino sort of thing.
Interesting.
Well, listen.
Listen,
there's no one Hispanic in the new Mario movie. He says groundbreaking colorblind casting in original, which is the one he was in. He says, plus, I'm the only one who knows how to make this movie work script-wise.
Wait, he said all this? This is starting to sound like I'm about to go DEFCON 3 on Italian people. Wait, John.
That's what I guess he's been, I'm looking back a little further, and he's been like talking shit about this movie for a bit. So the original tweet says, so glad hashtag Super Mario Bros. Is getting a reboot. Obviously, it's iconic enough. Too bad they went all white. No Latinx in the leads. Groundbreaking colorblind casting in the original. Plus, I'm the only one who knows how to make this movie work script-wise. I
don't understand. What did he like reach out to them first and was like, "Yo, you guys are making a new movie? Say less."
He's just an actor
I'm on my
with
way.
An inflated sense of ego.
He just posted that
guy.
He just posted that on Twitter and saw an opportunity to be like, you know what? Fuck this. I thought it was going to be a whole thing of like somebody was actually mad that like Chris Pratt isn't Italian, but nope. Actually, nobody really gives
Chris
a fuck.
Pratt is a Mexican.
Yeah, which neither is Mario or Luigi.
Neither is Mario. Yeah, Well, yeah, that's weird. You know what I would have liked to see actually is an all Japanese cast because the game is from Japan. I think that would have been kind of fun.
I would have been down for that, or not anything at all, I guess. But the movie actually looks pretty decent. I don't know. We talked about it at length more than once on the show, but it's not that kind of show. But we talked about it anyway.
My boyfriend Zach is very hype about that movie. We talked at length about it on Cold Cuts when that trailer first dropped, because I think it was getting a lot of hate for the Chris Pratt thing. But we went on there and Zach was like, "Bro, this fucking trailer rules!" Like he was so hyped. It does. I think when I saw it,
Zach.
I was surprised how good it looked, like visually. I think I didn't expect it to look.
Oh, it looks great. Yeah,
it looks fantastic, and I love Jack Black, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
it sounds great.
I do agree that Chris Pratt is a miscast, but
I did like your comic about the movie, Harris.
Oh, thank you.
With the penguins and George Bush.
Thank you. That was one of those that I was on a walk. It was the day after the trailer had just dropped, and I was on a walk. And that literally had just popped into my head, like the idea. And I sprinted home because I was like, I need to draw this before somebody else draws. I thought somebody else would do it. And I ended up but that's it's very rare that I post something that's topical. I'm kind of bad about that, but
because I wanted to say earlier, but that comic and other ones, I see your stuff come up organically all the time. Like that comic got posted in a group chat with my friends back home. And I was like, "Oh, my friend drew that." They're like, "Sure."
That's awesome. That's mad funny. That one, of course, and this is just the way it goes. I didn't put my insignia on it. I didn't put my signature on it because I was like, "This is a shit post. Let me just it doesn't matter. It's not my usual style anyway." And of course, that one has circulated like crazy, but it's fine. I wanted it to circulate. I wanted people to see it. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, anybody can claim it at this point, but
Elon Musk claims it.
It's funny. Yeah, when people tell me that, when people send me "Yo, my group chat just sent your drawing," and that's crazy. They don't know that I know you and stuff like that. It's always very heartwarming. I don't know how this shit gets around. I don't know how it spreads, but it's nice. It's just nice.
The internet, man. Welcome. Like I said, you assimilated so quickly and just taken over, man. How long is it going to last?
I have no fucking clue. Yeah, well, now it sounds like Twitter's about to shut down by the weekend. Apparently, tomorrow Twitter will not exist anymore, and I will
just post your comics on Mastodon or whatever people are claiming they're going to start using.
Dude, you know what? It's I actually did see people posting about Mastodon, and I have had it in my head where I'm like, you know what? Whatever the next up-and-coming platform is on social media, I'm not going to be the bitter fucking, grandpa muppet that I usually am about new social media. That's how I felt when I heard about TikTok, as most people our age did. I was like,
baby.
I'm not using that. That sounds stupid. And now
it's the Chinese.
Literally. And then now it's actually the biggest app. People say that's the only one that you can blow up on basically now. And now I'm like, all right, if another app comes around that's going to be this up and coming, I'm going to jump in early because I'm not going to turn my nose up at it.
Yeah.
But I downloaded Mastodon. Could not figure out how to sign up. It's too complicated.
I never even looked into it.
I could not understand it. It's you don't just sign up with a username. You have to sign up to a specific channel, and it made no fucking sense to me. I just could not do it.
I think I made one years ago, and I don't remember why.
Oh, really? You were really
because I remember I don't even remember what my username was, but I do remember making a Mastodon account years ago. I think people were talking about it was going to be and I had the same thought, Harris. I'm like, oh, I should probably be on here, I guess. And then people used it for a week and stopped, and now they're talking about it again. So I'm like, I guess I should try to remember my password.
Yeah, that would be good. I don't know. Maybe I should just take another closer look at it, but I am gonna miss Twitter with all of its bullshit. It's just it's like a terrible movie that you just don't want to end because it's just It's too funny.
I do feel like, especially lately, like ever since Elon walked through the door of Twitter HQ with the sync, I have just been glued to the website. I'm just like, what's going to happen next? It's been a wild and crazy ride. I've probably been having more fun on Twitter recently than I have in the past like couple of years.
Dude, I was talking to our friend Ian Erickson the other day, and he had this I don't know if you call it a theory or just something, but he said that like the world has, you know how he is when he gets all like, into his,
Yeah, he sort of becomes like a what do you call it? Like an oracle in like old in old Greek mythology, like
like
his eyes like go in the back of his head and he starts like,
he's a guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Hell yeah.
No, but he was saying he's like in the modern day, he said Twitter is like books, TikTok is like TV, and YouTube is movies. And at first I was like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, wait a second. And
then he disappeared into the night.
Yeah, and like he disappeared. I'm like, wait a second. That kind of makes sense in a very, very roundabout and weird way. It kind of does.
It's kind of real. Yeah.
Because like the way the way we use this stuff so much and just the significance it kind of has in like our lives and those things, it felt like the parallels kind of matched up in a weird way.
Dude, I could totally see that. I got into an argument with my friend the other day that like we were talking about which streaming service is like the best one, and I was like, dude, YouTube is the best one. And he's like, no, it doesn't count. It's not a streaming service. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean, dude? I spend more time on YouTube. Yeah. Than HBO or Netflix or any of that crap. I don't watch any of that shit. I'm on YouTube.
I see what he means.
24 hours a day.
But like,
you can stream movies on YouTube. You can stream TV shows.
You can, but it's just the best type of. We kind of mentioned this with Trey, the explainer, too, because we were talking about when we were talking about cryptids, he brought up, have you guys seen this video? Like, I had never seen it, but Zach and he had. It was this video from like 2008 that's called like Gnome in Argentina or something like that. Have you seen that?
It sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah,
it's like this extremely grainy, shitty footage, but it's at night and it's like a group of friends and it looks like they're filming on like a flip phone footage, and they're like in Spanish, I guess, like, oh my God, what's that? And they like turn the camera and like in the light of the street lamp in the distance, there's like literally a gnome with like a pointed hat, but just like the silhouette, and it's so JPEG'd and pixely that it's just like does a little dance and runs away, and they're like, oh my God, and it's like,
where was Keemstar in 2008?
I have no idea, but I was watching that and it just reminded me of the type of shit that like, and it's still like this, like, but YouTube especially back then was like this. Is like the type of content that you can see on YouTube, you just, especially at that time, you couldn't see it anywhere else. And you still don't really get it on other video platforms like TikTok. Like TikTok is curated, but it doesn't have a good search function. YouTube, you can literally just be like, alligator eating a smaller alligator and then get a video of that. You know what I mean? Like it's just like
TikTok is good for like just dropping weird random things in your lap, and I feel like I found so much interesting stuff. I found so many like interesting, like I find a lot of music on there, which you don't think that you would find, and every once in a while it's just like, oh, this is cool as shit, let me check this out. But it's not good. Like, I'll see a video on TikTok and I'll be like, oh, let me show. And then I didn't save it or whatever. And it's like, it's like sand falling through your fingers. It's like, it's gone. I lost it.
That's crazy. Can you imagine being like Kate Bush and just like waking up and your phone is like blowing up and you're like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden your song is trending on TikTok that you wrote fucking 40 years ago. And you're like, what the hell is happening? Like, that's what TikTok has been crazy for, is all of these songs that are like, it is this weird music sharing platform now too. I don't know. TikTok's not all bad, but it's
podcasts now too. Bad. Like,
linked
to podcast.
We got to figure that out, I guess. Yeah. Speaking of figuring stuff out, let's listen to some listener voicemails. I know we got a few to.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
But before we do, Harris, let our listeners know where they can find Cold Cuts, all your art, everything you want to share.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so my @ on Twitter, and if Twitter goes down, also on Instagram, is Beetle Moses. I actually do have a Beetle Moses TikTok as well that I should be posting to.
Nice.
So you can follow me there. But
if you ever do any like animated stuff, that would do pretty well.
It would be a good place. I've had people send me my own comics that have been reposted to TikTok that have actually done like decent numbers, and it's just the still image. So yeah, I don't know. I probably should be posting there, but
do a still image and then just put like someone playing Minecraft in the background. That's usually
a good idea.
Happens.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, but. Anyway, yeah, Twitter's primary, Instagram's secondary, but @ Beetle Moses. And then Cold Cuts Pod. Cold Cuts, you can find us on YouTube, actually youtube.com/coldcutspod. Also, we're on Spotify. You can look up Cold Cuts. We should be the first thing that shows up there, too. And my co-host, I have to shout him out, Zach, at YOLO Swag Studios, which is one word. You can find him as well online. Yeah.
Sweet. Good stuff. Cool. Good stuff all around. Highly recommend it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks. Let's hear this voicemail.
Yeah, before we get to those voicemails, if you want to leave us a voicemail, give us a call. Our number is 312-788-7361. Or you can always send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. Without further ado, let's hit it.
Hey, Thought Cops. I come in with a question. Does every workplace have that one fucking guy that everybody can't stand, but since you're all quote-unquote professionals, you just have to fucking put up with him? Is that just going to be a constant forever, being an adult? And also, how does one become a guy like that in the first place? You guys know who I'm talking about.
Zwick.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, just yell at him, say fuck you, demand your audio.
Oh yeah, and that is absolutely a constant. It doesn't matter where you work. It doesn't matter if you literally like move to like a small village in the middle of nowhere and you just open, a little antique shop, or you just sell little wooden carvings that you make, and then you hire one guy just to help you with the store. That guy will be annoying. There has to be...
There's always a guy.
There's always one. There's always a guy. There's just no fucking way to escape it.
Yeah, and then you have to, like, be professional. Like, that's something that, like, I feel like they don't really teach you, like, growing up or in school or anything. Just, like, there's, like, this certain language you have to speak to dance around issues without actually confronting them. And it's called being, quote-unquote, professional. And like, as much as you want to just tell this guy to shut the fuck up, you can't.
Can't do it.
I have some good advice, because I feel like the person that so pre-pandemic, my current job, I've held the same job since before pandemic that I'm working right now at the same place. And we lost basically most of the staff that I was friends with, which sucks. And now I basically don't know anybody that I work with, but I'm basically foot out the door of there right now. But they're
going to love to listen to this episode.
They don't fucking listen to shit. And there would always be, because a bunch of us were all friends together, we would do like certain like events, outings, hangouts, parties, whatever. And there would always be one or two people, and people would be like, do not invite them. I hate them. And I would be like, no, invite them, because it's going to be funny, because we're going to get some stories out of this.
For sure.
And without a doubt, every single time someone would do something, someone would say something, and we would just talk about it nonstop until the next event. And it's like, you got to do that. You got to turn lemons into lemonade,
True. Nothing will unite coworkers who are just acquaintances better than shitting on a mutual coworker that they hate.
And they don't even have to know about it. Just do it behind their backs. Yeah, fine. It doesn't matter.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. Win. It's very true.
Here's the next voicemail.
Let's hear it.
Yo, I heard you guys are having Beetle Moses on, and I just give you a heads up. You should be pretty careful. This dude is a lot of his comics highly anti-Semitic. his most recent one, he drew a whale Pokemon, which is clearly supposed to represent some sort of fat Italian woman or something. But just keep an eye on him. He's dangerous. I wouldn't trust the guy. But yeah, all right. Thank you, Thought Cops.
No, thank you.
That's a very fresh voicemail.
Yeah, very fresh. I do not know that man, and I would have to consult my lawyer before I can speak on the comic in question.
Well, that is very wise. Yeah, I mean, again, a very bold claim. Something I know we talked about that earlier on the episode. A bit of a sore subject, but there's obviously we got some crazies out there.
We do.
We gotta watch your back.
Yeah, that's all I can say on the matter.
Speaking of matters, this next voicemail.
Oh boy.
Comes from someone who doesn't.
Okay.
You'll never guess who.
Harris, a.k.a. Beetle Moses. I have to know, are you going to be doing any more music? Because that one song that you were on, you went weirdly hard, and I was surprised how good you were on the mic. So
weirdly hard.
Is there any more music that you're going to be doing in the future? Thanks. Bye.
Who is that? Who said that? Is that somebody I know?
That's Zwick.
Oh, is that Zwick?
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, thanks, Zwick. Yeah, dude, actually, that's really nice. Thank you for saying that. I haven't made music in a really long time, but I definitely kind of got the bug again, especially as I'm getting a little, the
Beetle bug, I get it. This is all coming, and this is all, circular.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I actually have... I'm not going to share it right now because it's just too cringy. But actually, you could listen to. I actually have I have a beat tape that's available on. You can hear it on Spotify that I put out like 4 or 5 years ago. That's all sample based and stuff, and it's SoundCloud.com/Hungry Caterpillar was the name that I put it under at that time. That was long before Beetle Moses or any of this shit. A lot of bugs. Yeah, I like bugs. But I was putting out music under different monikers for a little while. So when Zach invited me to have a feature on, I think he's referring to the rap that Zach had me do a feature on.
Okay.
I was excited by that. And now that I have this FL Studio up and running on my computer, it is absolutely in the cards for some more music on the horizon. Yeah.
We've been talking about this in the show recently. A lot of people are pivoting to music.
It's fun, man. It's just a great, it's a very relaxing creative outlet. Sometimes drawing can be it's very precise. You know what I mean? If I want to get things looking the way I want to do it, it requires my full focus. And music feels a lot more I can be at peace. I can be sitting and working on something and kind of toiling away. And
it's because it's a creative thing that you're not mainly focused on,
Lucky you.
Yeah. Yeah, why?
There's probably people who do music for a living and then they're I like drawing because I can just I don't have to fucking think about what I'm going to say or
that's a great point.
How it sounds.
That's probably true.
Also the idea, I can't remember where I heard this from, probably a audiobook I was listening to or something. I can't remember. But it was the idea of how people don't have too many hobbies anymore because everybody is constantly trying to monetize their hobbies and how that sucks the enjoyment out of it, and how an actual hobby should be something that you just do for the sake of you doing it. And I like that idea, and I haven't really found anything like that because everything that I do I like throwing on the internet so that people listen to Thought Cops. But
I know. I think I also feel I totally feel the same way, but I also am it almost feels like I'm trying to do a lot of catching up because I spent so many years where I was
in the dark
making music and making drawings and shit that I was too self-conscious to ever post, and now I'm almost obnoxious about it. I'm oh, you're gonna see every fucking thing that I make now. It's all going
Beetle Moses OnlyFans when
it's relaxing.
That's on the horizon. Yeah, it's relaxing. It's a hobby. Yeah, dude. Oh my god,
it's a living.
You know what? You want to talk about fucking stealing tweets? You know who are the biggest tweet thieves on the fucking internet? Are OnlyFans chicks. I see the same fucking... And I have no problem with sex work. It's not about the sex work. It's about being annoying.
If you say so.
It's just like
this is also like a Seinfeld bit. I have nothing wrong. I have no problems with the
there's
sex
nothing wrong
work.
with it. It's not
Sex
about
workers
that.
work. Sex workers work. Work is sex work.
It's just the
They
fucking...
stole my tweet.
I have seen the same image of... It's like... I guess it's like a Halloween or a costume store, and it's this like plastic red M&M that's like covered in fake spider webs, but it almost looks like it's been like nutted on, and it's the same tweet where that image is posted, and somebody's just like, me waiting for him to get a towel or something along those lines. I have literally seen that tweet since like 2020. I've probably seen that tweet like 10 times, and it's all from different it's like, do you guys all know each other and you're all just like sharing the same meme? And
they're in the same union.
I hate that shit. Please come up with your own shit.
What is it about M&Ms
That's good.
that people just can't help but steal the joke?
Wait, what was your M&M joke? Wait, remind me of the
It was
M&M
the
joke.
cracked skull one.
I
That's
honestly,
so
I can
funny.
barely even fucking
That
remember
parallel.
anymore.
That parallel is so fucking funny. That is, I remember you mentioning that on the episode that we did the first time, like months ago.
It's been burning him alive for like over
pretty
a
much,
year.
Oh my
pretty
God.
much.
Dude, that and the fact that you guys had an interaction with Elon Musk like before it was even cool was fucking crazy.
Now he
That's
owns
crazy.
Twitter. Now he
That's
can
all part of the thought
unblock
process.
himself from Kevin's account and just be an asshole to him. And there's
I checked,
nothing you
he's
can
still
do.
blocked, but I will say it is weird that Elon Musk does have a picture of me on his phone. Assuming he didn't delete that screenshot. Yes.
That is pretty crazy to think about. Well, I also heard, wasn't there was a wave of people saying that they had blocked Elon Musk and they were getting unblocked.
I heard that too. That's why I checked it. I'm like,
Twitter.
seems fine for me.
Not yet. He
It is
won't
still
be in
good.
control
Okay,
of the
good.
company for much longer. I think
I
he's
do not see
looking
that.
he's looking for a replacement CEO right now.
Yeah, I've heard
That's
that.
what they're saying. Again, we'll see. I don't know. Whatever, man. It's Jerry Springer.
I have no fucking I have no dog in the game, no stake in the I have no foot in the I don't care what happens to Twitter. It's just funny. It's very funny.
It's pretty wild. And something, if Twitter really does go down, which will not happen. All of the people that are like, well guys, it's been fun. I've just had a great time with you and I'll see you on the other side. I'm like, yeah, this is nothing's gonna happen. But even if it did, something will replace
Dude,
it.
these people
something
like
will
think
take
that they're
its
going like they're sinking on the Titanic, you know?
place. I know. It's so funny.
I will say
It's been an honor to play for you. Like, who are you?
Literally, what? Yeah, I've never heard of you in my life.
It does remind me of if you've seen like the screenshots of the last day that Club Penguin like was taken
Oh
down.
my
And there's all
God.
the penguins that are like, goodbye,
And they're just
everyone.
like, bye, I love you. It's been great. Yeah, I love that shit. God damn.
Yeah.
Dude, I just it's made me think of it like being like, who are you? It just made me think of like one of the funniest like hater comments that I've gotten on Twitter in my time so far. It is, and my brother he fucking texts this to me all the time. It's just to remind me of it. Is like I posted some. I don't even remember what the comic was, but I posted some comic, and a guy replied. It was like a no profile picture, like default profile picture guy, and he was like, "Motherfucker, I made that joke 9 months ago," and I was like, "What?" And I clicked on his page, and he had like 5 followers, and I was like, "Dude, what? How would I have known that you made that joke? Like, why are you? Do you really think that I saw it? Like, how would I have stolen that shit?
Did
from
you scroll through and see if he made it?
Yes, I scrolled through, and I even fucking went to like, okay, let me go 9 months. That's a very specific period of time. So let me like go back 9 months, and I was scrolling through, and I was like, dude, can you link me what you're talking about?
He made it
like,
to his
what
friends.
Are you yeah, like
he said it to his dog.
It made me think like he was just sitting. He was sitting alone in his room, and it was like, that's a funny joke. And then saw my shit, and it was like, how the fuck did you? Like, I was like, what?
This is a mentally unwell man.
I was like, what? It's so funny though. Anyway,
Speaking of mentally unwell, though, if those voicemails inspire you, give us a call. Again, our number is 312-788-7361, or you can send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, get a backlog of bonus content, and be a part of the episode in our live recording chats, head on over to patreon.com/thoughtcops. I want to give a shout out to one of our new patrons this week, or returning, I think, and is back for more, Nima Basiri.
Mistake.
Apologies if I butchered your last name.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Nima. Welcome back. Welcome. I don't know. Thanks for the money. Patreon.com/thoughtcops.
They came back into some money, baby. That's what it's about.
Also, we were supposed to mention this a couple weeks ago, but Zwick's been streaming on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
Dude, that's like, we didn't mention Fire. Like, we got a new Fire Bros, patreon.com.
Oh, yeah, it's out now, yeah.
We reviewed The Boys Season 3. We reviewed Tropic Thunder. We reviewed the Mars Volta self-titled album, The Mars Volta.
Oh, what? This is sick.
It's only $2 a month. Check it out. Patreon.com/thoughtcops. Like Grant said, twitch.tv/thoughtcops. We are active again, or rather, I should say, Zwick has been streaming on there pretty often, so definitely check that out. It seems like people have been having some fun. I think he's even been like streaming with some of our listeners, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
so,
Leo the Incredible will jump into the chat apparently, and they'll do a tete-a-tete back and forth sort of thing.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Well, Harris, thanks so much for coming back on the show, man. Glad we could have you on Mano.
This was great.
Yeah.
Yo, thank you so much for inviting me back on. I was always flattered, and I love talking to you guys. Yeah, I guess we got to we'll keep playing this back and forth. Now you guys come back on Cold Cuts.
Oh, happily, yeah.
And then we'll come back here. We'll just keep going until infinity. Yeah.
Well, we got to figure out...
Yeah, we'll do different iterations of maybe just Kevin goes on, and then we'll have Zach on, and then I'll go, and then we'll just we'll dance around, and then we'll all put the Mario hats on again.
That sounds great.
Have a big Mario party.
Yeah, dude, this has been really fun. Thank you guys for having me on. I hope I did okay.
Yeah, you did great. You did great.
All right.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. I'll see you on the other side.
Oh, Kevin's gonna delete his Twitter. See you, Space Cop.